Hey guys, Mr. Chris here. So this video is going to be the first in a series where I'm going to take on this iconic book by Mr. Burt Ligon, who is certainly a genius. This book is chock full of golden information, just to the point where, um, I mean, each paragraph is pretty much could initiate its own 30-minute discussion. So it can be a little bit intimidating. So what I'm going to do is try to kind of go through some of the concepts in here and kind of demystify them. Bert has a tendency to be a little wordy, and some of these exercises are a little bit intimidating. So we're going to start today with talking about one of his basic ideas, which is cyclical quadruplets. And even that sounds really scary, but he's going to call them CQ. And the book really gets cooking around page 10. I'm skipping the section where he's talking about just basic scales and arpeggio. There's some good stuff there, and like upper neighbor tones, lower neighbor tones. But to me, the real meat and potatoes starts here on page 10 with cyclical quadruplets, or CQs. So today, all I'm going to do is take a look at what those are, and then I'm going to show you that first exercise from page 11. And yeah, and we'll get into it. I'll show you some ways to apply it. So what he means by cyclical quadruplets is a 4-note pattern. And basically what we're doing is taking one note, for example, C, and we're trying to come up with ways to turn this one note into a 4-note pattern. 4-note patterns work really well when we're improvising, so it's good to have a couple in your pocket. So these are the ones he's looking at. And instead of just playing C, we're going to go down a skip and then step back to our note. All right? So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy enough, right? So again, initial note, skip down, step back up, land on the initial note, down, back up. 4 notes, it's a cycle, so cyclical quadruplet. All right, now there's some other variations, but that's going to be the one that I'm going to focus on for today. Let me go ahead and scroll through the 4 that he has there. Number 2 is stepping down, skipping back to the original note, and then you have the inverses of those. We're going to skip away, up, step back, down, and then step up and come back down. So again, really harmonically, all we're really concentrating on is the C, and then just those 4 ways of embellishing. I'll scroll through them all together. All right. Skipping up, stepping up. Great. So again, for today, what we're going to concentrate on is the first one, the skip down, stepping up. And we, of course, can translate that to other members of the scale. So again, if I'm sticking in the key of C, the CQ for D would be, all right? For E, you can probably imagine. Easy enough, right? So just taking that simple little pattern, and but once we get going with it, it's going to give us some nice ways to construct some of our lines. All right, so let's go ahead and jump over here. If you have the book, I'm going to example 1.22. Thank you, Mr. Burt. And here we have this pattern. I'm going to play it from middle C, even though it's written on the treble. Stop halfway through, and then the way down, I'm going back. Again, B is my target note, but right. So the pattern stays the same, but your initial note, or your target note, what I would like to call it, will rise up and down the scale. Of course, that's the way. All right, so that's a great pattern to know. Right, but a couple things we can do to spice that up. Number one, let's go ahead and put it in the context of a chord. I'm going to talk about 2 today, but let's do a Dorian sound with this. So what I'm going to do is take a D minor 7. All right, and I'm going to move it down here, but trust me, that's when I'm playing DFAC. All right, and then I'm starting on the 7th of that scale, so that's our C. So that'll put our pattern in this context. We'll go. Ready? Oh, sorry, one more thing I want to talk about. Let's get the finger pattern under control for this too. When you're going up, The way you want to handle this is to move your thumb in a step each time. It's right here, the second note. So you're going up to 4, bringing the thumb in, 4, bring the thumb in. That sort of thing. So it starts on 3, the fingering is 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Simple enough, right? And then on the way down, is 3. The third finger is scrunching in each pattern. So 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4, 3, 1, 3, 4. So rather than memorizing the finger numbers and saying those each time, I would just concentrate on what motion happens. For the way up, the thumb comes in. On the way down, the third finger comes in. A little bit of practice, you'll be able to get it right away. All right, so back to our chord, D minor 7. Let's go and try our pattern with that. So 1, 2, ready, go. Cool, kind of messed it up, but that's okay. So practice makes perfect. Let's give that another run. I'm going to keep my D chord up here. I'm just going to do the triad. Sorry, let's count it in. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, very nice. So that's good, well and good, but obviously we're not always going to be playing D minor 7s all the time, or C scales. So we want to be able to apply that to a range of scales. And what I'm going to try here is doing that same thing, but coming from the G scale. So if I'm doing that, then my target notes are just going to be the Gs. But what would it turn into here? I'm going to do down a skip. I got to include that F sharp, right? Because I'm coming at the G scale. So now my basic pattern is going to look like this. All right. Excellent, right? And then, so if I'm in G major, let's think about which minor chord would be the correct one. I'm going to do the Dorian, so it's going to be A minor. And again, I'm starting on the 7th, so the math is all the same. I just have to include this F sharp. So A minor 7 now, CQ pattern number 1 with G major. Starting on G, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, cool. Let's try that one more time. I'll stop halfway through this time. So 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, and then on the way back down, I'm just going to start on the G again. Ready, go. Beautiful. All right, that's the trick. Let's take it to another key center now. Now let's think of our D scale. Again, I'm moving in fifths. Good habit to get into. All right, so now if I'm in D, I've got 2 sharps involved, right? F sharp and C sharp. That's the scale. So what would my pattern look like now? I'd have the C sharp involved, right? F sharp, A, up. No, I'm out of frame there, but that's the idea. All right. Cool. So again, you're just kind of pulsing that wave down through the scale and then just keeping track of the the F sharps, but it's a nice sound, and it fits the rhythm perfectly. All right, good. So again, we want to think of the correct Dorian here. This is going to be E minor. All right, here we go. So D major, E minor, 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, nice work. So let's take those 3 key centers, just to remind you. That's D minor 7 with our C pattern, A minor 7 with a G major as our setting, and then E minor 7 with D major is the one. All right, cool. And then I wanted to show you the other context, or another context you might be able to use these guys, is over major 7 chords. So what I'm going to do here is take F major 7, all right? And then I'm going to think of C major. That's going to give me a nice Lydian sound. I won't bore you with that right now, but you'll hear it. So I'm going to do that exact same pattern. It's going to be the C major stuff. All right, and then on the way back down. Easy enough, right? All right, so let's go ahead and try that together here. We got F major 7, and I'll count it, stopping halfway through. 1, 2, ready, go. Oops, there we go. Okay, very nice. So again, a real pleasing sound. That's that Lydian thing in motion. And then let's transfer this idea around in fifths. So we're going to be doing the same scales, but just different chords. If I go to G major now, I'm going to fifth down here. This is going to be C major 7, all right? And this F sharp gives me that Lydian sound. I'm just going to move the camera over here. Let's try this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay. Brilliant. All right, and then these major ones are nice because they do give you room to get the chord and the pattern in the same one. Also, they have a bright, happy sound, which I guess we can all use these days. All right, cool. And I want to let's do one more setting here. We're going to take the A major 7. Am I wrong about that? I am. I'm sorry. Let's take G major 7. Cool. All right, and then for this, we'll use our D major scale. Again, that'll give us that nice Lydian there. So remember, I'm thinking D major here. G major 7 is my chord. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going down. Great. So again, we have just one line of this book on page 11 here, but if you extrapolate it out, you can really spend weeks kind of taking that around. But don't let that discourage you. Again, these are immensely usable patterns that we can see in lots of situations. And if you get these CQs down, he references them quite frequently throughout the book, so it's just a good point of departure. And I'll try to avoid the same pitfalls of getting too wordy here. But again, super useful stuff. So let's just condense it all. If you are trying to practice these guys and work it in, again, I would start with the C major scale, get that pattern all the way up, all the way down, just very fluent. And then you can practice that with either D minor or F major 7. I would do both if you can. And then if you're really going for the gusto here, I would take your Dorians first. So D minor, C major, A minor, G major, E minor, D major. Okay, and then when you finish those, or if you prefer, you can do the Lydian stuff. It's always the fifth of the chord. So F major 7 goes with C major up top. C major 7 will go with G major up here. And then G major 7 will go with D major up there. Great. So happy practicing, and I'll see you guys next time.